Dear humans, I stand here today not for myself, but for every tail wagger, sloppy kisser, and curtain ninja. I stand here for each one of the thousands of dogs and cats killed in shelters each day, asking you to join our cause and help us make sure every best friend has a chance to meet one of their own. With Best Friends Animal Society leading the charge, and your help, we can save them all.
Thank you for joining us for Pet Connect. I'm Tara Douglas. Even though it is hotter than any of us would like to talk about right now, we will be at the shelter this Saturday, the Sylacauga Animal Shelter, walking dogs from 11 to 1. We had a great Saturday last week. We walked the dogs in the heat, but we were very careful to keep them in the grass, and they're just happy to get out and get some fresh air. We didn't go for long walks. We were able to get everybody out, but we also had little kiddie pools set up with water, and some of them love the water more than others, but a lot of them just dive right on in and lay there. We've got a little sprinkler system, play area for dogs, so it's just a wonderful day. You can get cooled off and get in the sprinkler system with the dogs if you want, but we would love to have all the help we can get. And so again, it's this Saturday from 11 to 1. And when you're there, you can come out and meet Pluto. So we'll have a picture up of Pluto in just a second. He is our available pet of the week. Pluto was one of those pups that we just can't understand why he's still at the shelter. And I wanted to show you this picture just to talk about Missy Turner. I called her or texted her last Saturday because Pluto had some hair that had gotten very matted behind his ears. And I texted her and told her about it, and she said, I'll be there right after lunch. So Missy dropped everything, came on out to the shelter, and got those big plugs of hair taken out from behind Pluto's ears so that he could be super comfortable in all this heat. So we really appreciate Missy and everything she does for the community. She told us while she was there that she also grooms shelter dogs for free, and I can tell you Missy has come out to the shelter many times while we've been walking dogs to trim the dog's nails. So it's so great to have her in the community, and she's at Mutt Cuts in downtown Sylacauga at 210 Calhoun Avenue. And Missy also very graciously provides the place where you can get the vouchers. So the Feral Dogs of Avondale Mill makes sure that you always have vouchers available for spaying and neutering at a low cost, and Missy allows us to keep those vouchers at Mutt Cut, so you can go by there anytime. We just had our voucher sale and sold out, but a lot of people told me that they didn't realize that we sold those vouchers all the time. So we do the periodic $30 voucher sales, but they're still at a very low cost at their regular price, and you can get them at Mutt Cuts anytime. So don't forget that. If you need to spay or neuter your dog or cat, then you can run by Mutt Cuts and get those. And watch for our next voucher sale. We'll be having more of those coming up. And so we appreciate Missy, and please come out and meet Pluto. He needs out of that shelter, so we need to find him a good home. Now, I have my next guest on the show today. We have Andy Cox from Pelican Snowball. Andy, thank you so much for coming on to talk to us.
Oh, it's wonderful to be here. Thank you for asking me.
Now, I have to admit to you, this is confessional time.
Uh-oh.
I don't eat sugar and I don't have kids, so I know nothing about pelicans, so I'm your worst customer, but I am one of Andy's biggest fans. I'm on the chamber board with Andy, and Andy is one of those people that will show up for events. He's the first person to volunteer for events. You've been out to pick up litter. He's had all the kids that work for him at Pelicans come out and pick up litter, so you shine in the eyes of the Beautification Council. And he's done so much more for the community. He provides a great place for young people to work and learn work skills, learn communication skills, learn how to be a good member of society and a good civic responsibility. And because of all that, I'm going to talk about you for a minute, Andy. Andy got and Pelican Snowball got the Horizon Award for Sylacauga. And so that's a small business award here, and he'll be representing us in the fall at the State Chamber of Commerce and also the Alabama Small Business Association. And you'll be up for that state award. So we'll be very happy to have him represent us there. And we just are happy to have you in this community, Andy.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
So before we talk about your dogs, tell us about pelicans, because I didn't do a good job explaining pelicans at all.
Well, we do have, we actually have 10 sugar-free flavors. So
okay.
So there you go.
Well,
you're welcome.
I have
to
no
come.
excuse.
You have no excuse now. We have a seating area where you don't even have to have children. Just come sit, enjoy your sugar-free
It's not
snowball.
that I don't like children, I just don't have my own.
You don't have your own. Well, you can meet a few there.
Okay, so how long have you been there? Tell us what all you do have at Pelicans.
Yeah, so we're actually starting our third year coming up next month.
Okay.
We'll be starting our third year. We're just finishing up our second year. I'm going through the old photos now of renovating that place a couple years ago, and some of the trials and tribulations we went to get that open. Very rewarding to see where it is now. And some of the things we have there is we actually offer a soft serve ice cream this year, which is new. We can make a shake out of any of the 100 flavors that you choose. So
Okay.
we put the ice cream in there, put the ice, add the flavors you ask. We'll shake it all up for you, add some more ice and flavor on top. And but the great thing about that is we have a lot of our customers that come in and get their purchase and then leave. And so this actually doesn't have that top on it. You can
Okay.
actually get it and go to your car and easily drive down the road with a straw, and you don't have to worry about that top maybe
Okay, that's great.
finishing that
Yeah.
before you leave the building.
And we don't have to worry about that top ending up somewhere in a parking lot by accident.
That's right.
Because I know none of your customers would purposely put anything out.
No.
Now, what kind of, now you also allow people to have parties at Pelicans and things like that?
So yeah, we do parties at the store. And to be honest with you, if you come in during store hours, we don't even have a reservation charge or anything for that. We just let you come in. You can bring your cake or your cupcakes, a few decorations, and we just want you to enjoy the experience. And if you'll purchase the snowballs while you're there, that's good with us.
And what is you've got the soft serve now and you got the regular snowballs. What's your biggest seller?
So for me, it's still the snowballs, of course, but we've got people now that just come get the shakes. They
Okay.
like that so much. It's a good value as well. But our flavor, blue raspberry, is probably our biggest seller. But we have one called that we've made up called Pellicino. That's been very popular this year. It's got a coffee and caramel mix. It's
Okay.
kind of like an iced coffee
Okay.
that you can pour over
I
ice,
bet a
and
lot
it's
of-
very, very good.
I bet a lot of parents like that when they're there with their kids.
Right, they do. And we actually have I don't know if you know this, we have a pup cup that we sell.
Oh, that's great.
A $1 pup cup. You get ice, you get peanut butter or French vanilla on top of it. We put a dog treat on that, and we have an outside sitting area for you to enjoy your snowball with your pet.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm glad you told us about that. I
Yes.
didn't realize you did that. What made you start this business in the first place?
Oh, it's interesting. I started my career with Walmart, actually. 26 years I spent with that company in various roles, managing multiple stores. And so I thought, well, I'm doing this for another company. Let me take what I've learned with Walmart and bring it with my own business.
Okay.
And so that's why I started this business, because I took the things I've learned with that and wanted to put it to work for me.
Well, that's great. And like I said, we're so happy to have you in the community. And you've got a food truck, so you are at a lot of the different events that we have in
Sure.
the community. Now, we've got the fireworks show coming up. So, and you're going to have 2 locations at the fireworks show?
Yes, we're very excited about that. So, yes, we'll have a setup on one side of the park, and we'll have our food truck on the other side of the park. So we should be able to meet your needs there wherever you
Absolutely.
are without having to travel a great distance to get your snowball.
Okay, and that's this Friday, so that's the 28th. We have the annual fireworks, 4th of July fireworks show here in Sylacauga, put on by the Chamber of Commerce. And it starts at 4:30, and we should have the fireworks show about 8:30, is that correct?
Yes.
And then make sure to come to that, and make sure to stop by and see Andy. And you'll only be at one of your locations, but he's going to have 2 setups. So come by and get refreshed, because it's going to be hot Friday night too.
Yes,
So
yes.
will you have primarily snowballs in your food truck? Or,
Yes.
Okay.
We try to concentrate on just taking care of the customer as quick as we can with the product that they mostly get. So we're going to focus on one size, and we'll still have all our flavors, but we're going to focus on one size for that.
Well, that's great. So now, though, you have some interesting stories about your dog. So I wanted to make sure to talk about what you do in the community and your business. But tell us about your pups. Now, here's a picture of one of them. They are so funny. I feel like they're angry, even though they're not. So tell us
Right.
about your dogs.
All right, so that particular dog there, her name is China, and she's actually deaf, and she's blind in one eye. And she's got a brother named Jake, and we actually adopted Jake and China from a organization in Michigan called the Refurbished Pets of Southern Michigan. And there's Jake there. And Jake models for me wherever I take him. I have to send pictures to my wife who's out of town working, and so he'll model next to what I'm taking a picture of. And so that's him there. That's the brother to China. And that is Ellie. Ellie is one that we adopted from Kentucky a couple years prior to the ones we adopted from Michigan.
Okay.
So we've always had a heart for pets, and we wanted to make sure that we took care of pets that maybe were not necessarily getting the home that they deserved at the
Okay.
time. So we've gone with that path, and we've adopted 3 dogs, 3 boxers, and they just happen to be white boxers.
Okay.
But we enjoy the boxer breed.
There's all 3 of them hanging out.
There they are. Yes, they're
The crew.
They're the crew. And they actually have some outside siblings, adopted cats. So we've
Okay.
adopted a female adult cat, and we've adopted just recently a female kitten.
Okay.
So that the one would have a friend outside.
Okay. So let's talk about, you were talking about China and Jake. They came from the program in Michigan.
Yes.
That's a fascinating program. I know there are programs across the country that do that, but tell us how you found this particular program and tell us a little bit about it.
Okay. My wife came across it online, and what it is, it's a program where they actually go through a training program with the prison system in Michigan. So they actually go through a 10-week obedience training program,
Okay.
And we couldn't even adopt the dogs until they finished that 10 weeks. There was an interview process. We had to fill out an application online. We had to send video of our house. We had to send pictures of our house. And there were certain obligations we had to say that we would do before they would allow us to go through the adoption process. But once we were approved, we waited the 10 weeks.
Okay.
And then they went through, like I said, an obedience training at the prison system. And we actually got letters from the ones that were training our pets on their progress through the school.
And Andy shared with me the little booklets that he got with the pets, and I thought that was such a wonderful program there. I guess the prisoner,
Yes.
the prisoner would write down different characteristics of the dog, information about their personality, how you can get them to follow the commands, and
Yes.
that's just a great program. And I'm sure that you were saying the dogs came to you, and it's amazing to have a trained dog.
We've never had trained dogs like that before. So yes, they understand verbal commands, and then they also understand sign language, because like I
Okay.
said, our one pet that we received, China, is deaf, so we'd have to do visual commands for her. But I think what's great about it is we get a dog that's trained, but then you also had prisoners that are going through a rehabilitation process that are learning to be, I guess, a better part of society as well.
Absolutely. So it's great for both participants, the
Yes.
prisoner and the dog. And the booklet that you got, it was interesting because I was looking through it this morning when Andy got here. Got information about tips about what to do if you've got any kind of problem with the dog. So I know that they worked with the dog on a lot of things, but things like separation anxiety, you can't necessarily train out of a dog. And so they gave you so many good tips there. Because it's important to train a dog and to understand that a dog will have a happier life if it's trained and you know what to do with it and it knows how to be a good dog.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
And so we've got some opportunities around here in this area. We've got Heather Jones at Coosa Valley Canine. She's here in town. She does some training. So when you have your own dog and you don't have an opportunity to do something like this, the prison program that Andy was so fortunate to find out about and get his dogs there. We've got the local training. We've got Meredith Dempsey, who volunteers and takes dogs from the shelter at $15 a night, low cost. She provides training at her facility. And right now we've got a facility that's north of Birmingham in Hanceville, Highland Canine, and we have one of our dogs there right now for training. And they offer to take a Sylacauga shelter dog for free. So we're going to have a shelter dog, Dawson, that will be coming out of that program. So we will have an opportunity for you to adopt a dog locally for regular adoption fees, and it's one that will have been trained up there with Corey Archer at Highland Canine. And Meredith also has Franklin, so I'll show pictures of them at our next Pet Connect. Franklin is at Meredith's right now, and she's working on training with him. So we've got some unique opportunities locally, but that's just such an amazing story you got there. Who's out of the 3? Who's the troublemaker of your?
It depends on what day it is, to be honest with you.
And the situation and what's happening.
That's right. That's right.
Well, Andy, we just appreciate you and appreciate the fact that you chose Sylacauga to open up your business, and appreciate your pup cups at Pelicans now that I know about it, and appreciate your love for animals and the rescue that you did for these dogs and the cats that you have.
Well, thank you. Sylacauga's been a great fit for us, and we appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Well, good. We're glad to have you. And thanks so much for coming on the show. You can come on anytime. We'll talk more about the shenanigans of the three boxers at your household. But thank you for joining us. Make sure to remember that we're going to be walking dogs every Saturday. You can come out and meet Pluto. He is, I didn't mention, but he's very easy on a leash. He's one of the dogs that I choose to bring out when I have a walker that does not want to be pulled around, and he does a great job. He's just a wonderful dog, so come on out and meet him. And there's our little flyer for walking dogs. And we're there every single Saturday. We have some great volunteers that show up every time, and we love to have new people. And again, we'll have plenty of ways for you to cool off this Saturday, so come on out. And we'll have more Daybreak after these messages, but before we get to Daybreak, we have some information about you microchipping your dog or cat. So if you have not done that, you can get that done at any vet, and it's a great way for you to make sure that if your animal happens to get lost. And speaking of that, make sure to be careful during the fireworks with 4th of July. That scares a lot of animals, and we get lots of calls that dogs have been lost or cats have been lost because of those fireworks. But microchipping is a great way for you to potentially be able to find your dog or cat again in the event that they do get lost. So make sure to watch this next program about microchipping.
What are pet microchips, and should my dog have one? How your dog could benefit from a microchip implant. It seems like each day there's another story in the report about lost pets, while a large portion of these pets is at last found. Because of the wonders of microchipping and social media, a few pets are not really fortunate. That is the reason an ever-increasing number of pet owners are deciding to have their canines microchipped. It's only another method for keeping your shaggy companion safe and sound. What is a microchip? A microchip is a little electronic gadget used to store data and software. Microchips are made of silicon, which is a kind of semiconductor. Microchips are much of the time utilized in PCs, cell phones, and other electronic gadgets. Microchips are made by scratching little examples onto a silicon wafer. The wafer is then cut into little chips, which are frequently bundled and bound onto circuit boards. Computer chips are tiny. Most are under 1 square millimeter, making it conceivable to embed into a little piece of glass or plastic that can be implanted into pets. What is pet microchipping? Pet microchips are small devices that are inserted under a pet's skin. When embedded, the chip can be scanned, and the data put away on it tends to be gotten to by animal shelters, vets, and different associations that work with lost or found pets. This data can assist with rejoining pets with their families substantially more rapidly and effectively than if they were just wearing a collar and tag. How does pet microchipping work? Most microchips utilized in animals are about the size of a grain of rice and are made of glass or plastic. Microchipped pets contain an exceptional distinguishing identification number and the contact data for the owner or guardian of the pet. At the point when a microchip scanner is past the chip, it conveys a radio signal that is gotten by the scanner. This sign is then changed over into text, which can be perused by a PC. The benefits of having a pet microchip implanted in your dog. Microchipping canines most certainly has its pros. That is the reason so many canine owners pick in for canine chipping. A portion of the advantages of chipping a canine include microchips are a form of identification for your pet. If your pet gets lost, the chip can help to reunite you with them quickly and easily. Microchips are often used by animal shelters and other organizations that work with lost or found pets. Most microchips contain the contact information of the owner or caretaker of the pet, so anyone who finds your pet can quickly get in touch with you. Microchips are permanent, unlike collars and tags, which can be lost or removed. Microchips are relatively inexpensive and easy to implant. The risks of having a pet microchip implanted in your dog. However, there are many advantages of embedding a microchip in your pet. The inquiry is, are pet microchips safe? Here are a few risks of pet chipping you ought to know about. Chips can migrate or get stuck. Chips can cause an inflammatory reaction. Chips can malfunction or cause infection. Pets may be injured during the implantation procedure. In spite of the possible dangers, microchips are as yet considered safe for pets. As a rule, the advantages of having a microchip offset the dangers. Assuming that you're thinking about having your pet microchipped, Converse with your veterinarian about the most ideal way to proceed. So, should your canine have a microchip? The response is most certainly yes. In fact, it's turning out to be increasingly more typical for pet owners to have their canines, as well as their felines, microchipped. What's more, justifiably, microchipping can assist with expanding the possibilities being brought together with your darling pet in the event that he or she gets lost.